Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Moto Mengy channel. Today I'm going to do a road spotlight on what I consider the most boring road to ride in Pennsylvania. Seriously, this is the most boring road I know of to ride on Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Route 325. Let me show you just how boring this road is. Alright, Pennsylvania Route 325 starts here in Tower City, Pennsylvania. It's a little bit north of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, more or less. Now you might wonder, why do I consider this the most boring road to ride in Pennsylvania? The most boring motorcycle road to ride? Well, because after Tower City, about a mile or two west on PA 325, the road literally runs straight through Swatara Forest, and it doesn't deviate at all for about 25-30 miles. There are no roads going off to the side of it. Maybe, I think there's actually one road up here at the beginning right after Tower City and another one halfway through, but that's it. Other than those two roads, there are some houses along the side of the road, but even then there's not many houses along the side of the road either. But there's a few small, like, minor driveways and stuff along the sides, but they don't go anywhere. From a little bit past Gold Mine Road here, which we're coming up on now, this is your last chance to get off PA 325 for about 25 miles. Right here. To the left is Gold Mine Road. I've done a road spotlight on that road. You can check it out in the card up in the corner here. But now we're on it. We're on PA 325 and there's nowhere to get off for about 25 miles. Now it is fairly scenic here in the beginning. You got the Blue Mountains to the left there and some hills to the right. The Appalachian Trail actually runs right along that ridge up there. There's some good hiking through Swatara State Forest here in general all over. But that's pretty much all you can expect to see. Is once we get inside the forest, that's it. You're looking at forest on a straight road for about half an hour. This is an airport here to the left here, but I've never seen planes flying around there, so I don't know how active that is. But it's pretty dead, probably. Now, having said that, I consider this the most boring road in Pennsylvania. I do actually like this road a lot. I find it to be a nice, easy, meditative ride. So even though I find it kind of boring, I come through here quite a bit. I come out this way once in a while. When I head towards Penn State, for example, I'll divert up and come up down this road instead of going out Interstate 81 just to get off the interstate for a change of scenery, because even though it runs fairly straight, I mean, you can see there's a meandering curve to the right, but I'll show a map here for Google Maps up on the display, up on the video. You can see a map of this road and you'll see just how straight it runs. But even though it's straight and boring and just lots of trees, I do still like the road. Like now we're in the Swatara Forest pretty much, and then for the next 20 miles, PA 325 is a tree tunnel. More or less. We'll probably see a lot of cars parked alongside the road when we get down into the Swatara Forest because, like I said, there's lots of hiking trails here. A lot of hikers park along the road to hike out to the AT, the Appalachian Trail, or the other trails back here. Because there's hunting grounds all around this place back here. So a lot of hunters park here too. It's a straight, boring road, but there's a lot of outdoorsy type stuff around it, or on this road too. And when you get down further towards the end of it, it ends on Pennsylvania Route 222 or 225. Well, it hits 225, then it skirts up and goes over to PA 322 eventually. And that last bit between PA 225 and 322, that's pretty nice actually. For a couple miles at the end of PA 325, it turns fairly fun to ride, with some gentle hills and turns and twists and stuff and curves. But here in this part, you're going straight and that's it. Like I said, there is one road, like that there, that road doesn't go anywhere. That's just houses back there. Yeah, that road doesn't go anywhere. None of these roads off the side of the road do. They're all driveways and little housing areas. They come back out onto here eventually. But there is one road down here about halfway through Swatara Forest that goes off to the right. That's your only chance to get off this road. Other than that, once you're on it, you're on it. Unless you want to turn around and go back the other way. Through the forest, going straight. Cruise control is set. Bada 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 bum. Yep. Still riding through trees. Now here on PA 325, the scenery changes to the left a little bit. You see water out here. That's the Harrisburg Reservoir. This whole area is actually a watershed. That means it's protected water-wise. You can't build out here or pollute or anything. No factories, no business, no industry, because all the water in this area drains down to this reservoir out here. It's a dam about 10-15 miles down from here that backs the water up. And it's a huge reservoir. I mean, you see on the GPS here, that blue lake going our direction, that goes on for about 10 plus miles. And I would love to kayak this, to be able to put my kayak in there and paddle around, but you're not allowed to. No boating, no swimming, none of that stuff. It's protected waters. Now I know, depending on what state you're in, that might sound ludicrous to you, because a lot of states, they allow paddle boats, you know, kayaks and canoes and stuff in protected waters and reservoirs and such. a lot of states encourage that. Actually, they encourage outdoor activity and the use of water resources and stuff, but not here in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, a lot of our reservoirs don't allow boating of any kind on them. And I'm not sure why Pennsylvania does that. I guess it's some lobbyist or whatever probably got it done, who knows. I wish Pennsylvania was a little more relaxed in that regard, how they allowed more outdoor activities on waters that are like this, because there were, you know, we could use more places for kayaks around the state. But that's my opinion. Wow, the sun's coming out, look at that. A little bit anyway. It was supposed to be a partly sunny, broken clouds kind of day, but the weather didn't turn out that way. It's very overcast. Now, one good thing about PA 325 is the road's in good shape. For a Pennsylvania road, it's pretty nice. Not many divots or bumps or moguls or potholes, that kind of stuff. It's pretty smooth. So it doesn't really connect to anything important either. I mean, one end starts at Tower City, the other end goes out to an ice cream place, really. It's not even a town, it's just not, you know, PA Route 225, and then it weaves its way towards PA 322, but like I said, there's not much out here. No towns, no attractions other than hiking and stuff. No nothing, so it doesn't get a lot of traffic. But look, straight on. Straight as a barrel of a gun. Now there's a DeHart Dam right there. That's the dam that creates the reservoir. There's not much to see, you can't get close enough to it, it's gated off. You can't walk out onto it, you can't really see it, so. There's no attraction there, nothing to stop at and look. Nothing at all. Now we're coming up on Clarks Valley Road to the right. It's the actual only road that diverts off of PA 325 for the majority of its length. But it's not a long road. Carsonville's out that way, and there it is. Clarks Valley Road right there. That's an okay road, it's kind of nice. Shoots over the mountain range there, over to Carsonville. But it doesn't go far, and it can get you off this road and onto a Pennsylvania Route 209, I believe, is where it dumps out onto. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. Now back here along the Swatara Forest, on a hiking trail that goes back towards the Appalachian Trail, there is one attraction that's pretty cool to see actually. There's an old digger, like a bucket loader, back in the woods, that's been sitting back there since like the early 1900s. I'm not kidding. It's been sitting back in the woods for almost a century. In fact, I think it might be over a century now that I think about it, because back in the beginning of this road, I told you about Gold Mine Road that shoots down towards Route 443. Actually, it's called Gold Mine Road because there used to be a gold mine, a gold mining town back off that road, like back in the early 1900s and the late 1800s. And if you walk back the Appalachian Trail back there, you'll actually come across some ruins, like old foundations, and there's even a cemetery up there in the middle of the woods, just sitting there, top of the ridge. And those are the remains of the old mining town that used to be back there. But somewhere in the early 1900s, the gold ran out and the mining town just, you know, fell apart and everyone left it. And one of the mining companies had an old combustion digger, a backhoe, a bucket loader. My girlfriend would correct me, and she's very specific about the terminology on construction equipment because she used to work for a construction company. She called it a bucket loader, I think. I think it's what the actual word is for, but I'm not sure. Anyway, when all the mining companies were leaving the town up there, were evacuating and abandoning it, one of the old diggers, as they were coming down off the mountainside, broke down. The transmission broke down. So they, right in the middle of the woods, so they removed the transmission from the bucket loader and took it down to a town down here, and the transmission went down to the town to get repaired. But then the mining company ran out of money, and they kind of just abandoned everything. So they left the transmission down there at the repair shop. They left the bucket loader in the middle of the woods, and it's all sat there ever since. I think the repair shop downtown still has the transmission to this day, I believe, sitting like on a display or something. And the bucket loader is called the General because I think that was the brand of the company that made the bucket loader. It was General Construction Equipment or something like that. And it's kind of a hiking attraction back around here because a lot of hikers come around here, they park and they hike back to the General just to get their picture next to it or get to see it, because it's surreal. I mean, you're hiking through the woods and all of a sudden you see this big rusted out bucket loader sitting there in the middle of the woods. Just, you're like, what the heck, you know? I mean, how does it even get back here? Because trees have grown up all around it. So if you fix it up today and wanted to drive it out, you couldn't drive it out without cutting down a lot of trees. The forest grew up all around it, and you couldn't drive it out today. I mean, even if you replaced that broken transmission, the rest of it's so rusted out and deteriorated that I doubt the motor would even turn over or even start. You have to overhaul the entire thing, and that would cost a lot of money. And then the floors are rusted out and all that kind of stuff. So it's you know, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Time has done a number on it. I'll post a picture of the General here. I can find it on Google. I have pictures of it at home too. I'll have to look and see if I have any good pictures. I've actually hiked to it a long time. But it's a pretty neat historic, you know, memory of what used to be here. And yeah, you might have noticed we're still driving straight on PA 325. We're still riding through trees and forest. There still aren't any roads off to the side. You can see now there are more houses along this road. We're getting out of Swatara State Forest. So out this way, people live on PA 325, but for that 20-mile stretch right there in Swatara Forest, there's not much at all, because it's all protected game lands and state forest and stuff. Now I've got a car in front of me and a car behind me, which is very unusual for PA 325, because normally when I'm on this road, there's no one, you know, in front of me or around me. But like I said, there's not a lot of traffic on this road normally. Although when you get out this way, there's a little more traffic because the houses, people living here will get onto this road and drive out towards the PA 322 and stuff. And you'll see the forest starting to break. And You do get some nice views when you're down towards the bottom of PA 325. But the forest comes in again, swallows you up. But you get little breakout moments of the two mountain ranges that parallel the road the whole way along. That's part of why I like this road, because you're driving in a valley the entire way with not much traffic, no intersections, which is kind of nice and relaxing in many ways. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I find it kind of meditative almost. Like when I want to go out just for like a nice relaxing ride where you don't got to think about anything, when you want that, sometimes boring is what you're after, you know? Because not all bike rides have to be exciting or nail biting or adrenaline inducing. Some motorcycle rides can just be pleasant and relaxing and nice. But I still consider it the most boring road to ride in Pennsylvania. I mean, other than the interstates, of course. I know a lot of people hate riding the interstate, they find that boring. Myself, I kind of like riding interstates. At least you're getting somewhere. You're making miles, you're making time. You're on a mission. You're nice stream to our left here. That dumps out from the DeHart Reservoir, Harrisburg Reservoir, sorry. That we saw back in, 15 minutes ago towards the middle of this road. But that means we're coming up on PA 225 if I see the river there. PA 225 is where you have your first real intersection on this road. Nice barn. So this stop sign here is your first intersection on PA 325. And one of the few only intersections too. Now this is PA 225. 325 kind of parallels it, or follows it for a little bit here. So we're going right. This is an ice cream place here, the 3B ice cream, which is really good ice cream. Now you're only on 225 for a little bit. And then right up here, 325 turns to the left again. This left turn here marks the interesting part of PA 325. And it's really pretty out this way too. But once you make this left turn, 325 turns kind of fun to ride actually. It's only for a few miles. We're almost at the end of the most boring road to ride in Pennsylvania. But for these few miles, the road turns rather nice. I mean, look at that view out there. Hell yes! And you've got some hills and some curves on this little section, so you can ride through the boring part of 325 to get to the fun part here. This is probably why I like this road, because after you ride that 20-minute boring section, you kind of got a little reward at the end for your efforts. You got fun riding and good views. Mixed it together, you got a good, well, okay. So in some ways, the most boring road to ride in Pennsylvania becomes a very fun road to ride in Pennsylvania, but only for a few miles. But they're a good few miles. So are there more boring roads to ride in Pennsylvania? Probably. But I can't think of too many off the top of my head. Until you get to this part though. And it turns nice. The end of PA 325 is right up here where it meets up with Interstate 322. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of what I consider the most boring road to ride in Pennsylvania. Let me know if you think this little fun part at the end is worth it. It's worth the boring part to suffer to get to here. Also, let me know if you're aware of any other more boring roads to ride in Pennsylvania that I might take a look at. But from my own experience, from my own recollection, I can't think of a more boring road than PA 325. Well, at least the 30-mile stretch of it, or 25 miles of it. The last couple miles are fun, but again, boring isn't always bad. Every now and then a boring ride can be a lot of fun. And here's where 325 ends and it intersects with 322. So I'm going to end the video right here. I'm not getting on the interstate. I got other plans. And this is the end of PA 325. I don't know where that road goes actually. Oh, just dead end. Never goes nowhere. Alright, so thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you weren't too bored of the most boring road to ride in Pennsylvania. Leave any comments or questions down below, or any suggestions for a road you consider more boring to ride. But on that note, I'm going to do some more riding. So take care, everyone. Ride safe. Get out and ride as often as you can. And see you next time.